Yo, what's up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video where today we are going to be recapping Harish 118 in the Indian Regional Championship for Play Pokemon. We covered the qualifier round before over in Asia and in India here specifically. Their regional qualifiers work a little bit different. For example, in North America, if you get top 2 at a regional, you go to Worlds. For India, they had a qualifier tournament and top 16 then moved on to the next stage, a new day, and then top 2 from this top 16 stage would get the Worlds invite. So here we go. We've got Harish 118, and I believe the first 2 matches in this video are going to be the end of the qualifying stage, and then the latter 3 matches are going to be his run in the top 16, and let's see if Harish 118 can win it all. He's rocking a pretty standard meta line of Trevenant, G-Fisk, Lantern, Medicham, Noctowl, and then Lickitung used to be super meta. A little bit more off meta now with the rise of Noctowl. You don't see him as much, but still a very strong pick. And he's going up against Nikhil always here, who's rocking Venusaur, Bastiodon, Galarian Stunfisk, so double steal is kind of bold. Venusaur you don't see as much. You usually see Trevenant as the grass type on most teams, and then Noctowl, Medicham, and Sableye. So interesting matchup. Quick analysis. Do we see anything major? The Venusaur makes things a little bit RPS, like makes it a little bit hesitant to bring the Lantern potentially. Lickitung looks not great. The Noctowl's tough. The steel types are tough. I could see Medicham putting in a lot of work. Medicham looks really strong here if it avoids the Sableye. And Galarian Stunfisk as well looks pretty dang good. Only needs to avoid Medicham. So here we go. Harish versus Nikhil. And there we go. It's actually a party hat Noctowl. Editor Chris already made all the graphics. So this Noctowl is going to look more dapper in-game than he does on the graphic. And the classic Noctowl mirror match. This is an IV-dependent matchup. If you got a higher rank one, if you've got a higher rank Noctowl, you can usually win the zeros by living with just slightly more HP. But a higher attack one will, of course, win the charge move priority. I hear now they're calling it a charge attack priority. I think they're changing the terminology. So Harish invests a shield to win switch advantage, and this is pretty nice because Noctowl is going to put in a lot of work here. You have to think maybe it's Sableye in the back. The fact that he's willing to just sacrifice the Medi here. Another Sky Attack for Noctowl. Draws the final shield. You probably come in with Trev here. Okay. Opponent's only going to get off 1 move. This is pretty brutal looking for Nikhil. Ice Punch going to do about half. Does get off a second. That is big. And gonna shield. And it's actually the Venusaur. But I think this is a pretty safe Shadow Ball. Because you either guarantee the final shield or do a lot of damage. You get the final shield. Venusaur expends energy. And now the only question is, do you go straight for Earthquake or do you go for double Rock Slide? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Gonna have to eat a move here. Should definitely get off double Rock Slide before another Frenzy, but gonna go for the Earthquake instead. Is this gonna be enough to knock out Venu? It is. Rise making things more complicated than they needed to be. And gets the game 1 win. Game number 2 here against Nikhil. Noctowl into G-Fisk. Looks like the footage is a little bit stuttery. I think it clears up though, perhaps after this match. Yeah, so as we know, not a great matchup for Noctowl, but because resisting the mud shots and the ability to live 2 rock slides, it can actually make this matchup quite close. So not the worst matchup in the world. More of a soft counter than a hard counter matchup for G-Fisk. Goes for the catch and successfully catches the rock slide. but gives up switch in the process. Will this G-Fisk be punished? It will not. Venusaur is not really a hard punish. And this game will likely come down to what Pokemon is in the back. Frenzy Plant coming through does big time damage. Frenzy is just such a strong move. Those Community Day starter moves. Earthquake lands, does big damage to the Venusaur. Nice timing by Nikhil, getting the CMP, knocking out the Galarian Stunfisk. Also, what the heck are these IVs on this Noctowl? 1475. I'm just noticing that now. That's crazy. Oh, what a catch by the opponent. The peekaboo play showed the Stunfisk swapped the Noctowl. But here's the thing is, oh, you know what? Noctowl's going to outpace. It's 665 compared to 6665. So Noctowl's actually going to safely get to 3 Sky Attacks here before 3 Ice Punches. So the opponent doesn't even need to catch. I think Harish's only win con would be catching himself, playing out the 2-shield scenario. And then if your switch timer is up, catching on your own Noctowl. I believe the opposing Noctowl is at double right now, so would have to swap right away, but the switch timer is not up. Opponent gives him... Oh, man. Nikhil gives him farm. Does he come out with a move? Not quite. You have to catch. Oh, didn't get it. And there's the Sky Attack. Wow. Had to go for it. Had to go for it. The only other decision to be made would be like wait a turn and then catch, but then if they just throw right away, then you're just left wondering, oh, if only I just swapped right away. So that's tough. Decisive game 3 here. And these were still the qualifying stages. Positive lead. Sableye, safe swap, met by Noctowl. Very commanding position at the moment for Harish. Return does land, putting Noctowl into about foul play range. But here's the thing is, as we see the opponent's team, if Medicham avoids this Sableye, it's pretty dang good against everything else. So, and we know there's a Noctowl in the lead, so as long as you keep switch here, like, Medicham's guaranteed to have at least a neutral matchup in the back, if not a positive matchup in the back. It could potentially be that Venusaur again. And this Noctowl is getting off a ton of chip damage. Ooh, Nikhil goes for the farm down, maybe a little bit greedy. Gonna have to eat another Sky Attack. And at this point, I think he's just hoping that whatever's in back can close out, but that seems like a tall task with the hardest answers to the Medicham already either gone or low with this Noctowl. It is the Venusaur. I like going straight for the Earthquake here, guarantee the shield or the big damage, and it lands, and now you can probably just punch everything down, and the opponent top lefts. I believe that is round 1. Let me scroll back a little bit. So, yeah, so now he is going to play Scarlet Wiz. And we're going to be seeing a lot of Scarlet Wiz, forewarning. Going to be seeing a lot of Scarlet Wiz. But here is Scarlet Wiz's team. Scarlet Wiz did change his team from qualifying to top 16. So I'm not 100% sure if this I believe is the qualifying team. Editor Chris did his best with the footage he received, trying to piece everything together. But Earthquake gets shielded. This is a favorable matchup for G-Fisk because you can tank one Focus Blast. And Reggie can theoretically tank an Earthquake, and actually getting that Zap Cannon bait with the debuff is really nice. Because now Reggie can live this. Oh, shields it anyway. Interesting. But getting to another Earthquake, now you could even consider dipping out. Or you just force them to expend their move. I feel like Reggie could have considered banking that move and swapping out. Oh, wow. Willing to shield that low to retain switch and barely gets to the Rock Slide. understands that switch is that important because Noctowl was aligned with Trev, right? Oh my god. So this is a situation, right? Just understanding all that matters is switch advantage, and the game is over. And yeah, this is funny. Just absolutely dominant here. Yeah, I'm trying to piece together the Scarlet Wiz, because we're going to see a lot of Scarlet Wiz matches. So I'm trying to piece, like, which ones are which. But here we go. Noctowl. Another terrific lead. This looks like the same game, pretty much. Shield's the first Focus Blast this time, so I think it's playing out a little bit differently. Going for the Earthquake here. Earthquake lands this time. And you could still survive this and potentially even Mud Shot down. Can probably do like 8 Mud Shots at most. Gonna play it safe and go for the Rock Slide. And waiting what's going to come in. This time, opponent does get a shield advantage, and opposing G-Fist going for the farm down. Now, you do have to shield this for the opponent. Scarlet Wiz doesn't shield. And I think that's the game right there. Because it was Trev, right? So maybe Scarlet Wiz getting in their own head a little bit. Getting in their own head a little bit. And try to make the play. You see the undercharge there, and yeah, it's just over. It's just over. So here we go. Is this a new avatar? This is a new avatar. So now this is, I believe, where we get into the top 16 stage. And this is where we're going to see Trainer Harish against Akhilesh Varma. Akhilesh Varma. Apologies if my American pronunciation is bad. But look at this team. Bastiodon, Deoxys Defense. 2 more kind of secondary meta picks in the play Pokemon circuit. And then Shadow, Alola Ninetales. I mean, fares pretty well against the DD. I don't think that's too much of an issue for Harish's team. The Trevenant has 2 normal types for... The Lantern, depending if it's Water Gun, I mean, this seems like a really balanced, strong coverage team from Harish. I don't see anything too much of a problem. How about the Bastiodon? The Bastiodon, even that has like three solid answers too. So, what about A9? Is there anything that I feel like he's weak to? Not really. A9 has 2 solid answers in G-Fisk and Lantern, so I feel like his whole team's pretty solid here. I guess Noctowl is like the biggest threat. Noctowl may be the biggest threat, and Lantern, I guess, if it avoids Trev, has play against pretty much everything else. But anyway, here we go. The 2 owls. I saw a video on Twitter today that was the cutest thing I've probably ever seen. Nice catch from Harish. It was this this conservationist who had a whole like box of burrowing owls, and they were like baby burrowing owls, and he was like picking them up and like leading them towards the burrow. It was very adorable. But anyway, we've got G-Fisk against DD here. This is not the best matchup for DD. I think it only wins like the 2s. So gonna go down a shield. I guess here it's gonna win the 1-0 pretty comfortably. Has the move stored on Nock. Wants to get it off to not allow DD to chip. Wow, DD's willing to shield. Interesting. I guess it has a lot of energy, so makes sense. Thunderbolt gets a shield back. And DD gonna get off another move. I wasn't really counting. Is this Psycho Boost or Thunderbolt? It is a Thunderbolt, so it gets both shields back. Does get completely farmed down, though, so that's not ideal. Opponent comes back in with the Noctowl, going up to max energy. And these sky attacks are going to start flying away. Swooping in. Gets another catch. Second sky attack catch in the same game. Lantern catching the sky attack. Oh, man. So this is not as bad as it looks, though, in terms of the overall situation. Because the Trevenant, although this is a dominant matchup for Trev, your Noctowl can potentially farm down this Trev and have extra energy for the opposing Noctowl. So how's the opponent going to play this? This is awkward. I wonder if the opponent could have farmed more. No, I think they farmed up a lot. But Trev, even 2 moves here is not going to be enough. Or is it? Okay, it was actually close. So Noctowl's actually going to throw the Sky Attack to knock out the Trev, hoping it can outpace to this next one. But I don't think Sky Attack's quite enough. So can Noctowl Wing Attack down before opposing Noctowl gets to a move? It's going to be close, but not quite enough. And Achilles Varma is going to force a game 3, I believe. All of these are best of 3s. And this recording seems a little fuzzier for some reason, but we're dealing with it. This is the winners finals of the India Regional Championship. We'll deal with the fuzzy quality of this recording. Shadow Ball lands. That's huge. Will help secure this matchup for Noctowl. I don't know who's supposed to win this matchup, to be honest. I probably should know that. Swaps into Fisk, trying to catch. DD stores up a lot of energy and then leaves. And the thing is, if allowing the Stunfisk to farm up so much is going to make this kind of uncomfortable for Trev, to be honest. Just a Seed Bomb, that's not really going to threaten G-Fisk. You live this. Yeah, you live this Seed Bomb and you have double Rock Slide to get off. Wow, barely lives, but has double, so will get 2 Rock Slides off here. Was that an undercharge? That was kind of weird. Oh, doesn't want to get off the Rock Slide. Wants to farm down with Noctowl? Crazy. Didn't want to take switch advantage. Figured was better off farming extra with Noctowl. Might try and swap right away. Or just throw the move right away. Because DD has a million energy. Does the opponent come in? Yep, they come in, throw a move. That looks kind of weird. I don't know if it gave Harish the opportunity to throw his move. Comes in with Lantern. Oh, is it their own Noctowl in the back? All shields are down for Harish. And it is their own Noctowl, but up 2 shields. Does opposing Noctowl have enough in the tank to win this game? Also, I wonder if the Deoxys could have potentially gone for a Psycho Boost and then saved a Psycho Boost. I don't know. Shadow Ball, not quite enough. And you start to wonder, like, these situations are so tricky. I've been in similar situations where it's like, is double Sky Attack here more efficient than Shadow Ball plus Sky Attack would have been? I think the answer was probably yes. But this Noctowl for Harish has a ton of energy. So this is going to be close. Is 2 Sky Attacks going to be enough? Not quite. It's going to need a few extra Wing Attacks. Farming up as much as possible, doing the maximum Wing Attack damage. Sky Attack coming through. Boom! Knocks out the opposing Noctowl. And maybe this is game 3. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe this is game 3. Because this is still Achilles Varma. And we've got G-Fisk into Lantern. It is a Spark Lantern, so favorable for the G-Fisk. Going straight for the EQ. G-Fisk does win this matchup straight EQ. So, baiting is a little bit risky, but it can just make that matchup even more dominant. Another Surf lands, puts G-Fisk into the red. Expecting the catch, man. Really great anticipation. I like this play from the opponent, throwing before the Shadow Ball. Actually throws the Thunderbolt. Interesting. Is he going to shield? Is he going to shield to get off the Psycho Boost? No. Calls it. CMP here. I don't expect a shield. And we're actually seeing an undercharge. Doesn't want to KO the Deoxys. Wants to leave his Trevenant lower to avoid a Noctowl farm, I think. Oh, it's a Trev farm. Okay. Well, now you're in a really commanding spot, I think. You just have to be careful. Oh, wait a sec. Did Lantern faint? No, Lantern's still there, right? Yeah, Lantern's still healthy. So yeah, just have to be careful of the potential catch. Earthquake does not land, but you can simply commit a shield here, and the opponent doesn't even throw their move. So Earthquake will knock out the Lantern after all the Mudshot damage. Boom! And there is nothing poor little Trevenant can do against the mighty Noctowl. 1475 CP, who cares about IVs? Maybe it's got some, like, wacky, like, Galaxy Brain IV combination. But I believe that was the winners finals, and now we are here in the grand finals. So Harish has come through the winner's side of the bracket. So Scarlet Wiz has to beat him in 2 best-of-3s to win the whole thing. Harish has to win 1 best-of-3 and can afford to lose 1, since he's on the winner's side of the bracket and Scarlet Wiz came from the loser's side of the top 16. So let's get back to the Scarlet Wiz graphic. We already saw Harish play him earlier in the tournament. And here we go. And there is the Mantine, who you don't see too often. Potential Bubble Beam. And that's going to debuff Mr. Stunfisk. Earthquake. Rock Slide coming through. Grabs a shield from Mantine. So Mantine seems like it really wants to win switch advantage here. It was willing to shield once and is going to spam off Bubble Beams to try and secure the lead. And that can be a really effective strategy running Mantine, because even if you go down a shield, you can potentially debuff the next Pokemon that comes in and make just a really uncomfortable situation for your opponent. So after getting shield advantage, we're going to see Harish actually decide to swap in the Noctowl, and the Noctowl gets debuffed. Wow, this is really, like, interesting stuff here. Scarlet Wiz trying to abuse this Mantine. Mantine going to get off another move, and is this finally going to be the Ice Beam? We're going to see a shield come up, and there it is. Finally went for the Ice Beam. And now this is a debuffed Noctowl. Still will be able to take a Rock Slide, but these Shadow Balls will be doing slightly less damage. Do you consider dipping out of here? You do. Tried to catch Rock Slide. Uh-oh. Looks like there might have been some lag there. This is tough, especially in such a high stakes game. It seems like Scarlet Wiz might have lagged, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was just seeing things. Full counter down here. But Medicham just has way too much work to do at this point. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, because it seemed like the opposing G-Fisk had a ton of energy and then just, like, missed a few fast moves and let itself go. So I didn't receive too much information. Harish gave me the footage and the teams that were used on the team sheet. So I don't know if that game will end up being rematched here or what. But it looks like a Game 1 win for Mr. Harish. Going into game number 2. Noctowl into Mantine. Immediate swap into G-Fisk. We're going to see the Bubble Beam and dip. So maybe he didn't bring a hard check. Interesting that he's staying in. What could be in the back? Like double steal? Wants to stay in and secure this matchup. And we saw last game, like, this did not work out too well for Scarlet Wiz in the end. Rock Rock Slide's just spamming away. Mantine should get off a third Bubble Beam here before the third Rock Slide. CMP. And this will do very minimal damage. But the thing is, the next Bubble Beam doesn't even KO, though. So that's kind of awkward. Next Bubble Beam doesn't even KO. But I guess the Rock Slide won't KO either. I don't think Mantine can wing attack down, though. Does G-Fisk win the 0-1? That's kind of crazy if it does. Not quite. In comes Lantern. Preserves maybe a Bubble Beam or so worth of energy on Mantine for later. Hard swap into the G-Fisk. And you have to presume maybe it's like his own Noctowl in the back. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't have Noctowl. I'm making things up. Oh, maybe it's Reggie? I don't know. Maybe it's Scarlet Wiz's Reggie in the back. Double steal. Catches a potential... No. Rock Slide. Okay. That's crazy. Did Scarlet Wiz anticipate the catch? Oh my gosh. This is going over my head right now. I'm recording this at 5 a.m. I just woke up. Move coming through. It's just a Bubble Beam, though. Not going to knock out the Noctowl, and it is indeed the Reggie. Committed to the Shadow Ball. Felt like the Sky Attack wasn't even worth it. And, you know, I think Registeel should have this, especially if it gets a debuff, and it made the correct shield call there. Lantern can live a Zap Cannon, but not very comfortably. I don't think Lantern... Well... I was going to say I don't think Lantern's at risk of getting locked on down, but to be honest, it probably is before it could take out the Registeel. So, in a sense, it is going to get locked on down. I think you shield just to give yourself a chance. You know, I wonder if, like, Noctowl had gotten off. Nah, probably wouldn't have mattered, because that wasn't quite Thunderbolt range. But I was going to say, I wonder if Noctowl had thrown the Sky Attack, if that would have mattered. And here we go. Grand Finals. Decisive Game 3. Tough lead here for Harish. Noctowl into Galarian Stunfisk. And yeah, that Mantine has just been a nuisance to deal with. Seems content staying in here because he's ABA weak to the Stunfisk. The Lantern back wants to avoid this. And if it does, Lantern's got a lot of good matchups. You gotta think this is the EQ. Does get shielded. Will we see a catch attempt? Oh, loses CMP. That's pretty tough. Gonna let it go through knowing he survives, but to be honest, Scarlet Wiz could shield this and Mudshot all the way down, put Harish in a really tough spot. And that's what we're going to see here, I think. Doesn't even reach the Rock Slide. All this energy loaded for G-Fisk. Does Noctowl have a Sky Attack? I feel like it... No, it doesn't. So Noctowl going to have to eat a Rock Slide here. And, man, this opposing G-Fisk just putting in too much work. Perhaps would have been better off just sacrificing Noctowl in the lead. And then maybe Mudshotting down. Because G-Fisk essentially just took out two Pokemon. You swap Lantern, met by Trev, and that is game over. And Scarlet Wiz, pretty cool name by the way, is going to force a bracket reset here. We are going to see a bracket reset. And it'll be a true Grand Finals, where whoever wins the best of 3 wins the whole thing. Seed Bomb knocks out. Noctowl's just too low. And you'll see the rare occurrence of a Trevenant fainting the Noctowl. And here we go. It is now 0-0. Scarlet Wiz was able to reset the bracket. And here we go. Lantern into G-Fisk in game number 1. Surfs up, dude. Lands. Yo. Is this like a low IV G-Fisk? Or high IV, however you want to look at it. That surf seemed like it did even more. Like, what the heck? This must be like a Hundo G-Fisk or something, because normally it takes damage a lot better here. Like, 2 surfs usually does not threaten, but right now 2 surfs seems to threaten. Or I guess it could be like a high attack lantern. It could be the other way. Seems content just playing out the 1 shield scenario. And gonna get a big head start on energy here. And once again, Scarlet Wiz does not have a Noctowl on their team. So this Trevenant, even in its bad matchups, its energy can go a long way. Opposing Trev comes in, gonna get the last shield here. And G-Fisk is like one of the main counters to Noctowl, and this looks like a really promising situation for a Noctowl sweep. And you have to think, like, if you're double weak to Noctowl in the back, perhaps if you're Scarlet Wiz, you had to try and lure out the potential Noctowl by swapping your Medi or something. But obviously, hindsight's 2020. Shadow Ball coming through is going to be able to knock out the Trevenant. Boom. And Mr. Harish 1 game away from taking the Grand Championship. Oh, it catches the best lead possible. Lantern into Mantine. Gonna chip with Surf and then go. I like this play a lot because Trevenant against G-Fisk isn't the most comfortable matchup in the world. I almost prefer G-Fisk in this matchup because, like, it's more straightforward if you're G-Fisk. You just spam off Rock Slides versus Trev. It's like, do I go for the harder hitting move? Do I just go for Seed Bomb? Gonna actually shield the second Rock Slide here. Wants to make sure he maintains alignment. Feels like if he maintains alignment, he's gonna win. Scarlet Wiz has been bringing that Trevenant a lot. So maybe making a read that it is Trevenant in the back, and as long as you maintain switch, you win the game. Will we see another shield? We will. Just wants to guarantee switch. As long as you keep Lantern on Mantine, you should be in a pretty strong position. And here's a situation where you don't bother preserving this Trev. You simply do what you can here. Trev has done his job, and you want to make sure you keep alignment. Gets off another Shadow Ball. And if you're the opponent, do you even bother shielding at this point? You don't. You hope your back Pokemon can sweep, but unfortunately, it is not going to be able to sweep against the Mighty Owl. And like that, just like that, Trainer Harish 118 is able to take the India Regional Championship. He'll get a travel award, I believe. Actually, I'm not confirmed on that. I know some of the Asian regionals don't necessarily have the travel award, but he is the India Regional Champion, and he'll be competing in Yokohama in August, as well as Scarlet Wiz with a very impressive runner-up finish. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The Play Pokemon circuit is coming to its last month or two. I'm going to be in Hartford, by the way, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. So if anybody's watching this video that sees the Play Pokemon streams or videos like this and wants to compete, if you're in the New England area, Connecticut, or somewhere in the vicinity of driving distance from Hartford, feel free to sign up. It's going to be a great weekend, and I'll be judging, actually. So I'm looking forward to helping out and seeing who winds up winning the tournament for the people that are competing. But once again, shout out to Harish for sending me his footage, and congratulations, man, on such an impressive win, and good luck to you in your future tournaments. So all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And that said, thank you once again. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.